You may have noticed that a big black display just magically appeared in front of you.
It was teleported in. This was, yeah, okay.
Actually, FedEx. What we wanted to do is to basically take the high road and show a high-end display. And this is an NEC PA241W, which means wide gamut. This is
98 point something. Well, I read the manual.
Yeah, darn near Adobe RGB.
Yeah, 98 point something percent of Adobe RGB.
And for Photoshop and Lightroom and for digital imaging, this really works well. For surfing the web and doing email, it may be overkill. You and I both shoot in the field, and then we come back and process, as you Canadians say,
yes.
Back in the studio. I never make any color critical decisions on a laptop.
Even a calibrated and profiled laptop.
Yeah, because it's,
I know.
It's a LED backlit, it's not full 8-bit. One of the advantages of this display is, compared to most regular displays, is that the software, the SpectraView software, which is an option that you can buy, actually communicates directly with the internals of the display, so that any of the corrections and calibrations are done in 10-bit per channel accuracy. If you take your LCD off your laptop and then start at 8-bit and then put a curve correction for gamma and a white point adjustment in the video card LUTs, the lookup tables, you start at 8 and then you end up with less. So you may actually see banding in a low-end machine where you won't in this.
Let's just touch on price. Now, this isn't the kind of thing you walk into a Best Buy or other big box store to buy. This is typically, you'll buy this from a specialty retailer or online.
I tend to, I'll just give them a plug, they're one of your advertisers. I tend to buy stuff from B&H.
Yeah. Now, I looked up the prices. This is the 24-inch model, and this is in the range of just under $1,000, which is not bad compared to what, I mean, crappy 24-inch monitors used to cost $1,000. Now, of course, the crappy ones are down around 300, 400. So comparatively, it's a lot of money. But for doing serious work, this is it. Now, I guess what we're saying is, for day-to-day location work, a laptop screen that's been calibrated and profiled, is fine. But for the serious worker, this is the way to go. And so now what we want to do, of course, is we want to profile it.
Calibrate it. Yes.
Calibrate it and profile it.
So before I actually do the calibration, I'm going to go through and set the preferences.
Right.
And the calibration sensor, I'm using an i1 Pro. You can get a NEC branded puck that is manufactured by X-Ray, designed specifically for the wide gamut display. You don't really want to use a older colorimeter, and won't handle the colors gracefully. In this case, since I've got an i1 Pro, I'm going to use that.
Right.
The calibration, recalibrate reminder, I think I tend to do it every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I do it once a month. These things don't drift as much as...
Okay, I don't disagree with you. In this case, I'm going to select the best grayscale color tracking. That will be the most neutral. And then under the profile, generate ICC profile. I'm going to set it automatically, and here I'm going to actually use the factory measurements because this is a new display, as opposed to using the calibration sensor measurements.
So this again speaks to the level of precision to which these monitors are made.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'll point out particularly is, I don't know if you have kids, but
no, not of this, not of the age that would mess with the buttons.
Well, even if you have an SO that might use your computer.
A significant otter?
Yeah.
Oh.
The thing that you'd want to do is to make sure that you lock all of the front display settings.
Right.
So that once, basically SpectraView will lock out changing the display, so you don't want somebody mucking about with your screen.
Right.
And one of the things that I'll point out before I actually hit the calibrate is that this display has been on for, well, actually about an hour. We've been messing around with it. You don't want to calibrate the display when it's absolutely cold. So let it warm up, come up to temperature, and then calibrate.
And similarly, when you sit down to work, let it warm up for maybe 5-10 minutes.
So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. All right, now I get to put it in my handy dandy colorimeter hanger.
Right.
There we go. Click continue. And now it's going to go through and basically throw colors and tone up on the display and read it from the spectrophotometer.
Okay, so this is similar to, this is color profiling, similar to when you scan either manually or automatically on the I/O all of the little color patches. Now, once again, just so people understand what's going on, the software is sending some numbers to the screen, an R, a G, and a B value, and it's producing a certain color.
I think they use a different color space unit, but
being
CIE XYZ, I believe.
It's throwing some numbers at you.
Yes.
Throwing numbers at the monitor, which is producing a certain color. The Spectro is seeing what's being produced, and it's now saying, and here's what I see. So in other words, what was sent and what is being seen may not be the same.
Here's what it should be, here's what it is, and then part of the calibration process, not just the profile making, but the calibration process is actually adjusting the color tables in the actual display profile.
Right. Now, this is an NEC, NEC, as some people describe it. And this is a high-end display for photographers. The other brand that I'm aware of is AZO. And AZO are pretty popular. I know our colleague Mark Dubovoy has a 30-inch AZO and really speaks highly of it. Any thoughts one way or the other?
I really don't. I know the fellow that designed this, Will Hollingsworth. I have another friend, Carl Lang, that designed the original PressView and then designed the Sony Artisan.
The late lamented Sony Artisan.
And Carl and Will, although they're like butt heads all the time, I love them both. And you know, Carl thinks that this is a great display, and I have a tendency of listening to people that know more than me.
Fair enough, fair enough. One other that should be mentioned is, which I have no knowledge of other than it exists, and that's the HP Dream
Color.
Dream Color, there you go.
It's kind of a science project. I don't think it has direct applications to digital imaging. It's very expensive. It's a little over the top. Google it if you want to see a little bit about it. But I think this is a reasonably priced solution for a high quality display. It's about $1,000 US.
Then the 24-inch size, yeah.
Yeah. And the 30-inch is
2.5.
Okay. So the bottom line is this is one situation where you really do get what you pay for.
Because ordinary 24-inch monitors are down in the $300-400 range.
Yeah, but the specifications of those components are less. This has a higher specification for the uniformity, the accuracy of the chromaticities, the red, green, and blue colors, and we're done.
It's finished.
Yep.
Okay, but just before you do this, to finish the thought on different brands, what about Apple Cinema displays?
They're fine. And when they came out with the first metal cinema displays after the plastic, those were very, very highly spec'd displays. Apple has a relationship with the manufacturer. I mean, they make them, but they own part of the company, I think. And they spec them very high. Unfortunately, recent iterations are not as highly spec'd, and the current ones...
When my Sony Artisan passed away and was given a decent burial, I ended up buying a 30-inch cinema display, and I think that was now maybe 4 years ago.
Well, I think that was when it was good.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And
So, but they're still, I think, better than the run-of-the-mill monitors that you find at a big box store.
yeah, I would say that at this point, the cinema display and the Dell displays are very similar spec.
Okay.
And so it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other.
Okay.
But I don't think any of those displays are this quality.
Right.
And the thing that I would point out is if you got a high-end camera with expensive glass and you're serious about the work that you do, you're going to do everything based upon what you see on the display. It's your only vision and ability to see your image.
It's the window through which you look at your images.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that poetic or what?
Poetical.
Go ahead.
So here is the summary. It gives you the target, and I had a target of D65, and it was calibrated to 6522K.
Close enough for government work?
Yeah, well, the delta E is 0.5.
Yeah, right.
And just to explain something, delta E is a measurement of difference between the target and the calibrated white points. The luminosity came back out. The target was 140. It actually spec'd out at 139. Here's the profile name. Then there's some other information here. One of the things is being able to see the display. So this is sRGB.
Right.
Here's the display.
Quite a bit bigger.
And then let's compare it to Adobe.
Almost.
Pretty darn close.
Yeah.
A little deficient in the greens.
Some super saturated greens.
Then here's the display of the curves. So a little bit of variation. It's modified and adjusted, and this is a good example of what a gamma curve looks like. This is
That's
gamma
2.2. Yeah.
Color tracking, average 0.5, maximum of 0.81.
Right.
So basically, this is the result of a very high-end calibration of a very high-end display.
Right. And it's basically saved that profile into its appropriate location directory, again, whether you were using a PC or a Mac, and the next time you boot up, there it'll be.
So in the display under color, it has the current profile that I just made.
Yep.
So that's it for the high-end display.
Great.